I believe we are live and I am in the dark, which I always am in the dark. Not sure how to fix that. So we are going to just move to full screen. We don't need to see me anyway. It's not that. Oh, look at that. That's different if I do it this way. Oh, camera just fell over. Good morning, everybody. Jim Cagney, Infinity Futures. How are you? Let's try that. I don't think that's any better. I think I'm still in the dark. All right, let's do a sound check. Hello, hello. David's here. Jessica's here. Awesome. All right, good. So thanks for coming. We're going to start on time here, which is in 1 minute. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is Savage. All right, I'm going to go ahead and post a link into the question and answer box. And hopefully everybody sees it. Hi, Red. Hey, Brian. Thanks for that hearty hello with exclamation points behind it. Love it. Appreciate you being here. Jan, thank you. I'm sorry. Is it Jens, right? You say Jens, I think. Jens. Jens. Thanks for being here. Forgive my ignorance being a Yank here in the United States. I appreciate you being here, everybody. We're going to go ahead and go through the process. But the link I just posted there was for a practice account. I'm going to leave that up here for a second so that if you don't have one, if you don't have, you could fill this form out right now. You get an email right away, and you could literally shadow me as I go through the process. So I'm going to give everybody a second. I know I recognize a lot of names here, a lot of faces. Some of you guys are customers, some of you aren't. Everybody's welcome. We do these YouTube live things Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes we had an extra bonus one like today. And I want to focus on the platform and how to get it set up. So the more the merrier. Tell your friends, your neighbors, your countrymen, anybody who might benefit or be interested in this kind of stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about how the markets work too today. Risk disclosure is very important because in futures trading you have a high combination of leverage and volatility, and although that can be an equation for opportunity, it's also an equation for risk. So be careful. Take your time. Easy on the day trade margins. Infinity Futures does offer low day trade margins as a convenience to its customers, provides a certain level of capital efficiency for trading markets like the SPY, the futures version of the SPY, and QQQ and diamonds and all that stuff. We'll go over some of that today too. Keep that in mind. So be careful with the day trade margins. Slow your roll with that. Past performance not indicative of future results. We're not going to talk about past performance today. If anybody does, do that. Remember, flag on the field. We're going to log into simulated live mode today, so it'll be a simulator. Same platform that you get with us, the same data feed that you get with us, all the same. So any questions on risk, type them in. I do want to kind of show a very common thing is, what are your day trade margins? So we have a page here on the website that shows all the different markets that you could trade. Mostly a comprehensive list, but not totally. We have the currency futures at the top. For those of you who are trading over-the-counter Forex, my recommendation is to bail immediately and consider futures. It's a transparent electronic exchange, and I'll talk about what that means, a little bit more detail in a minute. And there's no dealing desk. There's no third party taking trades. There's no fake exchange. It's the real deal, and there's a lot of benefits to it. You don't have carrying costs for holding positions over. As an example of a benefit to that as well. And the bid-ask spread is real. It's what it is. It's not marked up. It's not manipulated. It's not changed. There's no algo to calculate it. It is what it is. So that's currency futures. Your energies, we have some great energy markets. I think most people are familiar with crude, CL, very popular market, very liquid market. That's a market that a lot of folks trade. Heating oil, gasoline, natural gas, those are also in the energy complex, we'll call them. James, I will do that. Interest rate products, another very popular um, asset class. Different durations of interest rate sensitive debt instruments issued by the government. And the popular ones there are the ultra bonds, treasury bonds. There is an ultra 10-year note, 10-year note, 5-year note. I won't go into the detail of the difference between the 30-year ultra bonds and the 30-year treasury bonds. There's a slight difference, but it has to do with the duration, average duration of the portfolio. But the bottom line is they are interest rate sensitive, Fed sensitive, flight to quality sensitive types of markets that are very interesting to me. Stock index futures, most of us know what those are. We have the S&P, the NASDAQ, we have the Dow, we have the Russell, to name a few, and then we have a couple different flavors of those, right? We have the regular classic size E-mini S&P, and then we have the micro E-mini S&P, which is a smaller size contract. Those are all good contracts. DAX, mini DAX, Euro Stock 50, those are traded on the Eurex exchange. They're not CME markets, but you can still trade them with Infinity, and those are particularly interesting to folks who might, where your hours might, the hours that you would like to trade it's more convenient for you to trade. And they're very liquid markets also. And they're, like I said, they're from the Eurex exchange, and that is located in Germany. Metals, gold, silver, very popular, platinum, micro gold. So there's a little mini gold one here. Micro gold you could trade, 10th the size. And then the commodity futures. This is how it all started, right? This is how this whole futures business started, with the commodity markets 100+ years ago. And they're still available. They're still, corn, soybean, soy meal, wheat. They're also markets that are available electronically to trade on the AT platform. So these are day trade margins right here. And so I get to ask the question a lot: when do day trade margins start and when do they end? So day trade margins basically mean how much money you have to have in your account to establish a position. So as an example, Australian dollar, if you wanted to buy or sell an Australian dollar futures contract, you would use up $500 of your day trade margin to open and close that position intraday. So from 6:30 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Chicago time. This is Chicago time. Central time, I guess we'd call it. And it's called day trade margin. It's assuming that you're out of your position by the end of the day, end of that session. Now we know these are 23-hour markets, right? So we're closing for an hour. We close at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we open again at 5 o'clock. To hold a position over that hour period where the market's closed, that's considered overnight margin, which is crazy to think about because it's only 1 hour. But it's the end of the session before the next session starts, 60 minutes, 1 hour. And those margins to hold positions like that are set by the exchange, the CME group, for most of these markets. And that's something that there's no negotiation. Those margins are a lot bigger than the day trade margins. So if you're holding something overnight, make sure you're aware of what the CME group overnight margin is for that product, and make sure you have enough money to hold that position. Otherwise, you'll be on margin call, which is a bad thing. Nobody likes to be on margin call. I don't like it when you're on margin call. You don't like it when you're on margin call. The clearing firm really doesn't like it when you're on margin call, and so they get mad at me, and I don't like people being mad at me. So that's kind of that. Now there's another margin to consider, and that's day trading overnight. So you're trading from 5 at night, all morning until 6:30, when the day trade margins kick in. Those are also day trade margins, but they're day trade margins at night, and those are multiplied by 2. So just simply, whatever this number is, double it up. I get that call all the time. Hey, I want to establish an Australian dollar position at night. I'm going to close it. What's the margin to do that? Okay, well, it's $1,000. Okay, so that's kind of how that. It's just double. Mr. Andrew, it's doubled. Okay, so you take this list, you multiply it by 2. Those are nighttime day trade margins. I know it's a weird thing to say it that way, but that's what it is. Rainy day in Atlanta. Well, it's better than a cold day in Chicago, Bill, but thanks for being here. And the only other question so far we have is from James. We explain how to set up a protective stop. Yeah. And a profit target using the charts. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into it. Any questions on this stuff, risk or anything like that? Just type them in. Let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Joe, the margin is how much money you need to have in your account to establish a position per contract, right? So if you have $2,000 in your account and you want to trade an E-mini S&P, the day trade margin for that's 500. You have enough money. That's good. As a matter of fact, you have enough money to do 4 contracts at a time with $2,000 in your account. Now, I wouldn't recommend it. That's too much leverage in my opinion, but you could do it that. You can do that. So that's how it works. It's not, it's per contract. Sheila Wang is in the house. Wow. I am so happy to see you here. It's been a long time. I'm glad you're back. Hopefully all is well out in sunny Arizona. But thanks for being here. Okay, so we've signed up. Let's pretend we signed up for, I'm going to show you how to log in once you have a practice account. And it's going to be similar to how you log in once you have a live account. But the live account button, you're going to go to the client portal and log in right here. The practice account, you're going to go to trading. Platforms, web-based, and you'll see all this stuff here, about the deal. Lower right-hand side, we have 2 options to log in. This is for the download version. We're not on the left-hand side. We're not using the download version today. This is for the web-based version. The first option gives you the dashboard, the charts, and the trading ladder. The second option gives you just the charts. And you might ask, well, why would you just do just the charts? And that's okay, Sheila. You're always welcome. No reason to apologize. So the reason why you might do just the standalone is, let's say you want to see something from your phone and you have, an iPhone 7, it's kind of small, don't have a lot of room for dashboards and all sorts of stuff. You could launch the charts on your phone, and it gives you the ability. You could trade from the charts, and we'll cover that because I think that's what James asked about. The launch ATPro here, which is what we're going to do. It's going to give us a bunch of different pieces. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to give me a welcome. I'm going to type in my username and password, and I'm going to launch the ATPro dashboard. And it will come up on my screen. It'll look something like this. As a matter of fact, it will look exactly like this. And so we have the quote board or scoreboard on the upper left. We have open orders section over here in the middle left. And then on the bottom, we have where our filled orders are. And there's a whole bunch of tabs over here with different things. And there's messages. So you're going to get messages in the message area. Settings. There's a bunch of settings in here. I'm going to turn show tooltips off because I don't need the tooltips and it's annoying. And then the other thing I'm going to do is launch chart in new window. I'm going to turn that on. And remember, it's browser based, right? This is a web browser. I'm in Chrome, and that's how I have this set up. You might use Microsoft Edge, you might use Firefox, you might use something else, but as long as it's a supported browser, you should be good to go. Yang has a question on margins. Do margins change at times? Yes. Will we get notification about the change? Yes, but not always. The CME group changes their overnight margins all the time. Now, and not all the time. In other words, the E-mini S&P won't change every day, but it will change on a regular basis based on volatility. It's a risk-based margining process called span margin that they've developed over the years that kind of decides, hey, how much risk is going on here and how much money should we have? So from our point of view, from Infinity Futures point of view, for day trade margins, they rarely change. We saw a change occur back in, at the height of the pandemic last February, March. Yeah, we did change day trade margins there, and it was just an very unusual black swan type of event. But Yang, the day trade margins rarely change, and you will get notification on that. Okay, so let's do a couple things here. Let's add some quotes. Upper left-hand corner, I'm going to select a contract. Let's add I already have one up there right now, but let's add an ES. E-mini S&P, it's ESH1 is the symbol. I'm going to hit the add button. I've added the quote. Let's add, I don't know, let's add a Dow, a mini Dow Jones futures contract. That's YMH. Let's add that one. All right, let's add a Russell 2000. That's RTY. That's RTY. We're going to look for the R's here, RTYH. And that's a start, right? So we'll add a couple more. Let's add a micro ES. So that's just an M. They just add an M in front of the ES for micro to designate micro. MESH1, that's the symbol for that. And then, we'll go ahead and do MNQ while we're at it. MNQ, which is the micro for the NASDAQ index. So let's find the MNQ. And H is the front month. 2001 is the year 2001. H is the front month here. Stands for March. That's where all the volume is, and you can see this thing moving around. Another thing I'm going to turn off is flashing prices. We don't want the prices flashing. I'm happy with this view right now. We have a typical score quote board up here. We'll add a couple more. We'll add crude oil. Let's go CL. CL, I believe we're in April. Let's double check. And the way you double check is you add the April. And then we are going to add the next one down, which is the June. And while we're at it, we're going to add the J also. So now we can compare, right? Where is the volume? It's not in the K, because that's 67,000. Feb, no. March, no. April, yes, is the J. 300,000. That's where the bulk of the volume is, and that's the one you want to trade. Now I'm going to just show you how to get rid of a contract. Just go highlight it and go to remove. Highlight it, go to remove. Easy peasy. And you can do the same thing with currencies. We'll do the British pound, sterling, US cross. We'll add, I don't know, the euro, 6E, US cross. And it's straightforward. That's how you add them. It's really easy. So Paul says, I'll be using the download version. So there's a lot of similarities, Paul. So when you set up your quote board or your scoreboard, it's going to be almost identical on the download version. So there's going to be a lot of similarities on that process. And I have a bunch of videos on how to use the other one that I'll send out to you. But thank you for that question. Okay, so now let's say we would like to launch a chart. Let's go to the ES. I'm just going to go here and click the little C. Here's C. Here's the ES. E-mini S&P, one of the most popular contracts. I just clicked on the symbol itself, ESH1, and it highlighted the whole line. I'm going to click on the C, and it's going to open up a chart. Gives me a little welcome message. Click anywhere, and you have a chart in a new window. See, I'm moving it around. It's a web-based deal. Now I'm going to minimize this page here so we can kind of show it side by side. Now the other component is the trading ladder. I'm going to click on the D column. See, there's a D column. I'm going to click on the D next to the ESH1, and it opens up a trading ladder. This is another component. So these are the three components of my platform. And depending on your monitor layout and how many monitors you have and all that stuff, you can manipulate these windows any way you would like. Okay, and I'm just going to set these up this way. And give me a second here to format these. So we could talk about each one of these independently and go from there. Any questions yet? James, I don't know the exact rollover date for the YM. It's a good question. We will. It's this is March right now. It's going to be. I don't know the date. I could try to find that out for you, but we're not there yet. We still have a considerable amount of volume in the actual Dow component. But thank you for that question. Don't have memory. Charts, you could trade from the charts, and I'm going to go through in detail how to do that. Trading ladder, you could trade from the trading ladder. and I'll go into detail on how to do that. So let's go ahead, let's get into it here. The charts, I'm going to just kind of expand this so you can see a little better. And we're going to talk about this. Time frame, the very first menu item, intraday, ticks, whatever you want. I'm going to change it. You just click on the time frame you want. It will change the chart. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance for my internet connection. I am running StreamYard and Skype and a couple other things, which is slowing my processor down. But we'll live through this. So there's the time frames. Here's the views. Once I get set up and have the charts the way I'd like them, then you could save a view. You're just going to hit save the view, type in what you want to call it, and it will save it for you. Display, candle, open, high, low, close, line, all your choices are here. All your choices are here. So you could pick any type of chart you want. If you want to do a line on close, it would look like that. Very, very easy to toggle back and forth. There's the candlestick, which probably not candlestick. There's the candle, which is probably the most popular. A little bit low, and then you have the specialty stuff: Hikinashi, Renko, range. Time zones. You could change your time zone here. I'm in Central, so I'm not going to change that. But you could scroll through here and change it to whatever you'd like. And then English. If you want to change your language, these are your options for the language. And you could just change that, and it'll change it on the charts. So that's kind of handy if you're in anybody in any of these countries. Type in a yes, I am in this country. I'll give you a second. Portuguese. Do we have any Portuguese? All right, so we're going to go down below. Themes. All right, I have a black background. If I wanted it to be a white background, I can click on that and be a white background. If I want to go back to the night, I can go back to there, to the black background. If I want to create my own, I just hit new theme, and I'll go ahead and change the colors and change the backgrounds and all that stuff. And I type in what it's called, CAGS' new theme, hit the save button, and then it'll be on that display menu for you to use whenever you'd like. Okay, so Barry says, it will not show me a price to trade at. I'll be a little more specific, and I'll be able to help you with that. Studies. Here are all the studies that you have to choose from to add to your charts. And they're all pretty much, there's some specific ones at the top that are a little bit unique to Infinity. And then all of the regular suspects are below that. And so let's just pick a simple one. Let's just pick, let's say we want to add a MACD, moving average convergence divergence study, to our chart. Just click on it, and it'll add it. And it'll give you a little cog here. You can click on lower left, right? You could click on the little. It looks like a gear. You click on it, and then it shows you your settings for the MACD, and you can change them if you want. These are standard basic settings: fast moving average period 12, slow 26, signal period 9. We just started discovering MACD in our Tuesday and Thursday live trading events. So feel free to go back to actually Tuesday's event and Wednesday's. Tuesday's event would be a good one. It's archived on YouTube to learn about MACD a little bit more. And you could change colors and stuff like that. Manipulate with your finger or your mouse, depending on what kind of device you're using, to expand or contract the area that the MACD is in. Same way with the axis, left axis, just grab it. I'm sorry, the x-axis, just grab it and move. Y, just grab it and move. And then you could use your mouse, the roller on your mouse to do that kind of thing. So it's easy to kind of manipulate the charts either way. So let us move on to the next. So those are studies. That's how you add studies. It's pretty simple. Crosshairs. This will give you a crosshair. The second thing is like an info button. You just move your mouse onto a candle. It'll tell you open, high, low, close. Volume for that particular candle. I find that particularly useful. Drawing tools. Click on a drawing tool. It activates the drawing tools on the left-hand side. And you go here, and here's all of your drawing tools: Fibonacci retracement, Gann fans, lines, trend lines, whatever you would like to add to, horizontal line. If I wanted to add a horizontal line, I'm just going to click on it and then click. If I want to change the colors and the line size, you could do that up here too. right next to where your line is. Let's make it yellow and let's make it bigger and dotted. And then I could just kind of put it somewhere else, click, and there we go. That's how you kind of change the style and color of the lines. Mike would like a future price indicator. Yeah, I'd like that too. It'll tell me what the price is going to be in 10 minutes. That would be handy for sure. Okay, so that's the drawing tools, and you could always right click to edit or delete right there on the drawing tools itself. Yin and yang button, up and down arrow, upper left, opens up the trade panel. This is the trade panel. You can see I'm short a NASDAQ. Again, this is in demo mode. I'm short a NASDAQ -1. My open trade equity is -$2,285. I've had this position on for, I don't know, about a week now. I just haven't got rid of it. But you have a market order button here. Click to open that. Click to close it. You have a buy button here for limit orders and stops. Click to open that. Click to close it. Sell button. Click to open. Click to sell. Account information, risk assessment level, estimated P&L, account status, positions. Open orders are going to show up down here. You could just drag that around to however you want. So let's go ahead and place an order. I'm going to hit a buy button here. I want to buy a contract. I'm just going to move the slider or the trade ticket to whatever price I'm interested in. Prices below the market are going to be limit orders to buy. Prices above the market are going to be stop orders to buy. So let's go ahead and place a limit order here at this particular price, 19 3/4. In one contract is filled out. Day I don't have to change. I'm just going to hit the buy button. It sends an order to the exchange, and you know that by the solid green line on the little cocktail stir indicator, whatever you want to call this thing, that's on your chart. Now, it's also going to display it on the DOM, the trading ladder. You'll see there's my entry order to buy a contract at 38.19.5. And once I get filled, there we go. Now we've been filled. And it shows our open orders here. ES, long 1. We're +1. Now, I'm going to add a line to this chart. I'm going to add an average OTE price. It'll show me where I'm long from, right? And I'm going to edit that. Oops. I have to do my F5, guys. Sorry. Every once in a while, the F5 will reset everything. So we're going to be patient while that happens. Now I go to studies and I'll see at the top what my studies are. MACD, average, OTE price. Click on that. I want to just edit that line and just to get rid of the show value and hit done. I might have to, there we go. And there it is. So now the second thing I want to do is I want to add a stop, right? I want to add a stop. And since I'm long one, it's going to be a sell stop. So I'm going to click on the sell button. I'm going to move my mouse to where I want my stop loss to be, and I'm simply going to send it. It's red, it's color coded, there it is. The last part of the trade is I want to add a profit target. I'm going to add a sell profit target up above my position, and I'm going to hit the sell. Limit order to sell, profit target, stop loss to get out in case my opinion on what the direction of the market is inaccurate. It happens. Barry, are you with me? This is a manual order entry. Richard, just hit the refresh button. Just refresh the browser page. That's all. That's all F5 does. All right, so and you can see on the ladder here, I've got target up here, I got a stop loss up here. And if I want to change the price of it on the chart, on the trading ladder, I just can click and click to a new price. It changes it on the ladder. If I want to change it on the actual chart, I just click on it, drag it up, hit the replace button. And I've canceled and replaced that order. Change the target, click and click, cancel and replace that order. It's really that easy, really that fast. And that's how this is all manual operation at this point right now. If I want to flatten my position and cancel everything, and I could hit the flatten button. If I want to cancel my working orders, I could do that. So I just got stopped out. I just got stopped out, and since we moved it up a little bit, we made a little money on that sim trade, $62.50. You can see it in the P&L column here on the chart. You could also see it on the bottom right of the actual trading ladder. Now, this order here, since it didn't get filled, it's just dangling out there, so I'm just going to cancel it. I can cancel it from here. I could cancel it from the chart up here, or I could just right-click on my mouse button on the DOM itself. You don't have to have the DOM open to trade from the charts. You don't have to have the charts open to trade from the DOM. These are independent, but they are synced together. Everybody with me? Okay. Very, very cool. All right. So where are we at? Let's do something more sophisticated. Let's do the same trade, only at the same time. I'm gonna buy a contract here. But before I send my order, I want to add an auto exit stop. See that plus add auto exit stop? I'm gonna hit that. It's gonna give me another slider, I'm gonna call it, or area here where I could set where I want my stop to be once I place my trade. And then also I want to add an auto exit limit or profit target. I hit the plus sign, and I can go ahead and move this to wherever I want it to be. So now when I hit the buy button, I'm sending instructions to, hey, send a limit order to the exchange at 31.1725. That's the green solid line. And then if that gets filled, if that order gets triggered, then I want you to send my stop loss and my profit target to the exchange after that point. This is called a server-side OCO, order cancels other. But that doesn't kick in until this is triggered, the OTO, order triggers order, right? And if it doesn't get triggered, then nothing happens. We don't have a position, we don't have anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this up a little bit, see if we could force a fill. You just click on it to edit it any way you want, and then hit the OK button, and then you wait. Alternatively, if you wanted to just kind of move your limit order on the DOM, you could do it that way. It's totally in sync. Instructions for the whole OCO, it's automated at this point. My fingers are off of everything. I'm looking out the window right now, just talking out loud. Once this hits, then let's see if we get a fill. Oh my goodness, we didn't quite get it. All right, let's be patient. We'll be patient a little bit more. It will send these to the exchange. These dotted lines will become solid lines. And in terminology, the terminology here is, this is the parent order. The trigger is the parent order sent to the exchange. And then the dotted lines we're holding in our back pockets here on our servers, those are called child orders. They're the child orders, parent, child. Once this is filled, child become parents also, and they get shot out, just like real life, and they get shot out to the exchange. Very realistic. Let's just kind of chase this so we get a fill real fast. Just want to see this in action. This market has been considerably volatile. Oh, come on, Jim. I want to kind of show how this works. So let's be patient here. We're in a rally. Pitcher's name is Sally here. Let's go. Let's give me a little bit of love. Hopefully, if you're trading live, you just bought a contract. All right, let's kind of really chase this thing. I can't even get filled on a demo. Here we go. All right, so now we got filled. These things became activated. It's called an OCO, server-side OCO. Here's the target up here, 42.25. Here's the stop down here, 20.5. These orders are sitting there ready to go. Okay, so now I could leave if I want. Because if I get filled on my profit target, then my stop will automatically get canceled. It's an order cancels other. If I get stopped out here, my profit target automatically gets canceled. That's the nature of it. If I wanted to change things, do the same thing. I want to move my stop, click and click to break even plus a tick because things are going my way. Then I could do that. It's very, very simple. Everybody with me on that? We'll get to that, Steve. Well, there's a couple of settings on the dashboard to get you to save. Hang on a sec. I'll get that. Bill asks, is this available on Android cell phones? The answer is yes. You could, any supported device, it's web-based, so any supported device you could, it'll work. You could use it. That's how it's designed, for sure. With small cell phones, it's kind of hard to get the DOM on there. So there's this little tiny arrow here. You'll see this triple arrow on the upper left, triple caret or triple less than sign. On a phone, if you click on that, it'll make the DOM a lot smaller. Right up here, if you're going that route. And chase it a little bit more. And there we go. We are stopped out. And our profit target, sure enough, has been canceled for us. Everything is good in the universe. Okay, let's say, I'm going to do two contracts here. I'm just going to buy at the market. It's going to send an order. I'm long 2 at the market. And then after the fact, I decide, hey, I want to do a server-side bracket around that. So I could let it go. Well, that's fine. You just hit the sell button on the chart. Create OCO bracket. I'm going to hit the first plus sign. And it's going to tell me, it's going to let me put my stop in. I'm going to, oops, what happened here? What'd I do? Hang on, let's try that again. I'm long 2. So I want to sell. So I'm going to create an OCO bracket. I've frozen my computer. We're going to bear with me a second while I unfreeze it. Tony asks a great question. How long will the Tony asks, how long will the order stay at the server side if they don't execute? The end of the day. So at 4 o'clock Chicago time, when the market closes, then all of the orders, even limit orders that are not executed that are sent to the exchange, those things don't survive. All right, let's try this again here. So I'm gonna hit the sell button. I'm gonna position this for my profit target. Then I'm gonna create OCO bracket. I'm gonna click on that plus sign, and I'm gonna place my stop. There we go. And then I'm gonna hit sell. So now I have a bracket around an existing position, on an existing position after the fact. So that's how you could do that. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Any questions on that? I'm going to go ahead and chase this up a little bit so we can get stopped out so we can see it happen. Okay, boom. And there we go. We stopped out. Open P&L is in the first section here on the DOM. Close P&L on the lower bottom part. Oh, I still have a unit. That was a rookie mistake. Anybody catch that? That was a rookie mistake. I had a 2 contract trade on. Remember, I bought 2 at the market, not 1 at the market. I bought 2. But when I added my OCO around it, I only added a one contract. Remember, 1, I should have added 2. That was a bad thing. That was my fault. So I'll do another one. So mindful of how many contracts you're trading at any given time and what your open position is related to what your stops are going to be and what your targets are going to be. That's kind of important. And it's an easy mistake to make. So kind of be mindful of that. Kind of be mindful of that. And again, trailed my stop up. See if we can get stopped out and we can see the OCO in action. Here we go. Nope. Yep. Nope. Doesn't want to stop me out. That's kind of crazy when someone says, I wish I'd get stopped out. That's not a normal thing to say. Sheila says she does that a lot. Okay, there we go. Success. We're good. We're out of the trade. Our position is flat. No open trade equity. See that middle number here at the bottom of the trading ladder, 0. Closed P&L is 812. Again, simulator, fake money. Let's not get too crazy or excited. And this data is duplicated in the actual position area of the actual chart itself. I have the first hamburger checked here in the positions area, 812.5. Now, the second one is the closed book. It shows all the trades that I've made already for each market and just lists them with the price and an ID number, whether it was a long trade or a short trade. And then I have these little dots showing me not only the price in which I traded it, but the time frame in which I placed the trade. So that's kind of, let's just change this to a minute just to kind of demonstrate this a little bit better. If I can get my, there we go. So this just shows you, okay, I placed this first trade, you know, at 10:25. We placed the second one at 10:28. Placed the third one. So it kind of gives me a little bit of a post-analysis type of view. It's kind of handy. Go back to 10-minute. Sheila's selling short at 38.87. Oh, you're going to be patient. Got some room to go before we get there. Okay, so that's pretty much in a nutshell how the charts work. That's pretty much in a nutshell how the charts work. So let's go ahead and just focus on the trading ladder for a second. I'm going to minimize this trading ladder here. Now, I have no open orders. All my filled orders are down here at the bottom. It's just, again, it's just another area where you can get information on your trades. Trading ladder, like we've already done. You select a quantity, whatever it is, one, and you're able to either do a market order, you buy at the market, it just shoots a market order out, and you're going to get filled at the best available price. You could do a sell market order if you want, and that will sell a contract for you at the best available price. You could join the bid or offer, which is not a market order, but it gets you as close to the market as possible. And it's color coded, you know, blue is buy, red is sell. And you have a shot at maybe saving a tick on your entries, or maybe not getting filled at all. That's the risk of doing the join the bid, but it's certain you could do. So if I join the offer right now, it's going to go ahead and send an order, and it will send it to the lowest ask quantity price. If I do a join bid, it'll send it to the highest bid quantity price. And that's how that works. So it's technically a limit order. Thank you, Sheila. Sheila's like, yeah, patience is our thing on Tuesday and Thursday, isn't it? That's definitely sure. All right. Now, if you just want to just send limit orders and do it just by picking a price, you're just going to click on the price you want, and then it's just that simple. You want to cancel, right click. You want to add to it, you send it. Sell, these are sell, this is the sell side. And I'm going to make it a little easier to see. I'm going to change my settings. And I am going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to the legacy color scheme. Hit the plus button. There we go. Blue is buy side, red is sell side. This might be, I don't know. For me, it's better. James, good question. I don't know the answer to that. That's on the chalkboard. I do not know if that's the case or not the case. All right, so okay, we got filled on a position, right? Okay, great. We got filled on a position. Now we got to do the rest of the work, right? So now I need to put a stop loss in, and I have a profit target now. It's already up there. We just kind of put some sell orders in. I'm going to cancel this. So here's my profit target now. I'm going to cancel my second entry for now, and I'm going to put a stop in. Now, since I'm long one, stop is going to be a sell stop, so pink side, and it's going to be below the market. So I'm going to pick a price. I'm going to click once. It's color-coded red, and there's my stop loss for that particular. Now, I manually entered these, so there's no OCO involved. This is still dangling out there. I want to get rid of it. I'm going to hit the cancel all. It cancels it. Cancel all is kind of handy because you might have trades up here you forgot about from earlier in the morning, or trades that you've entered, limit orders you've entered, you know, down here that you forgot about. It's always okay to hit cancel all if you think you're done. If you think you're done, just to clear the slate. You know, I have had calls saying, "Hey, Jim, you know, I was flat. I logged out, and it says now I'm long at, you know, at 38.50. I didn't, what happened? Well, you know, I look at the log files. It's like, hey, this was a limit order you had or a stop order you had, and you didn't cancel. So it got filled. You logged out. You didn't cancel it. It was still here. You got filled. So be mindful of that. That's a little trick. Regardless of what trading platform you're using, if you're trading with somebody else, fine. But I'm not too offended. Maybe a little, but not really. Make sure you know your positions are good. And you can see here on open orders, I've got nothing going on. Let me add a couple of open orders here, just clicking randomly, and you'll see them here. in the open order section of the dashboard if you're using the dashboard. Again, you could cancel all orders from the dashboard. Continue. So that's kind of handy too. All right, so let's do the OCO trade here with the trading ladder. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just check a setting. I'm going to make sure I have allow advanced OCO brackets. So I'm going to click on that so it's a positive. Okay, I'm going to have a quantity 1. And I'm going to set my stop loss here in this box. Let's just make it 10. I'll make my take profit 10. Size ratio I'm going to ignore for now. And I am going to simply go ahead and place an order. Limit order gets sent. Limit order gets sent. Let's get filled. And then, oh, you know what? I made a rookie mistake. Cancel, cancel. Make sure this auto exit off is clicked on. Make it green. Auto exits on. Now we can place the trade. There we go. Shoot it in there. Limit order. Let's wait. We're going to wait. Sheila knows we could do this. And then once this gets filled, it should send the actual bracket. It did. Stop is 10 ticks deep. Target's 10 ticks up. This is an OCO. Order cancels order. They're color coded. Target is green. Limit order is green. Stop loss is red. Everything's good in the universe. If I want to change it, it's easy. I could click to change the price. OCO is still valid. I could close down. I could shut this thing down because it's all server side. I can go to Starbucks for another cup of coffee, which I don't really need at the very moment. Okay, so Paul says, my trading ladder only shows 1 entry each for bid-ask quantity. Yours shows 7, 8 each. Okay, so I have what's called a 10-tick deep view. It shows bids and offers. That's what these numbers are. Bids and offers, 10 ticks deep. That's $11 a month. If you just want the top of book, which is the best bid and offer, so it'd be only 1 tick deep, that's $1 a month. It's a total personal preference. So Paul, it sounds like you do have a live counter. So if you wanted to, you could change to the 10 tick deep version. You'd pay a little bit more, but you could log into the client portal and just say, hey, I want the 10 tick deep version, not the top of book. It's up to you. No, Sheila, you know what? Here's the thing. Sheila asked about Dunkin' Donuts and my Dunkin' Donut habit. I'm kind of out of the Dunkin' Donut game right now. And the reason is I have a new parking spot and it's right next to the Starbucks. And the Dunkin' Donuts is at least, I don't know, 300 feet further from the Starbucks. Maybe not even, maybe 200 feet. But just the idea of just walking by and adding those extra steps, it's not appealing to me. So I'm back I'm back at Starbucks. But thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so Steve, I hear you. Okay, so on the dashboard, a couple of different places you got to save things. And I'm in an incognito browser, so it's not going to save it because it's based on your cache. But when you do your dashboard, you want to hit that Save Contracts. It'll save what other contracts you have on there. The second step is you're going to come over to your settings area here. You might have populated charts in here. Well, let me show you how to populate charts in here. You're just going to select, add a chart, select, add a chart, select, add a chart, and then yes, in fact, we'll select and add a chart. And so I'm going to call this my default view, and then I'm going to hit this save button too. I hit that save button too. Now, if for some reason you're having trouble still, Steve, with that, again, incognito browser, this won't work. You got to do it in a non-incognito browser. And the reason I'm using incognito browser is because of my bad setup here at Infinity. I just want to keep the data flowing better. So if that doesn't work for you, then immediately contact me or support. We'll try to diagnose it why, but it should. Oh my goodness. All right, Yen has asked the next question, next evolution in trading. By the way, just so everybody knows, in future trading, you can sell first. You don't have to buy anything. You can sell first and create a short position. And then what you're saying when you create a short position is that, in your opinion, the market is going to go lower, and I would like to buy this contract back. I would like to buy one back at a lower price, and try to profit that way. So that's the opposite. Now, the other thing you could do is you could scale into a position. Let's say I want to sell another contract at a different price. You could sell another one at a different price. And then you would have a 2-unit contract on. And so on and so forth. So you could scale in and scale out. The math is simple. It's additive. You're adding contracts, it adds. Everything is now I have 2 contracts on, and each tick size now is going to double. It's not going to be $12.50 per tick anymore. It's going to be $25 per tick. So the more contracts you trade, the bigger risk you're putting on and the more opportunity for profit you have. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to hit the flatten all button here and get out of that. Let's do multi-target bracket. This has been requested. I'm going to do let's just keep it simple. 2 contracts, okay? And then in my my auto exit box here, I'm going to make my stop loss. We'll make that 12. My profit target now, though, I want 2 different profit targets. I want one at, I don't know, we want one at 8. And then I'm going to put a colon. And then I'm going to put the second one at 12. I'm going to hit auto exit on. And I'm going to place my limit order. I'm going to get filled on 2 contracts, and it adds my stop 12 ticks down. It adds my profit target split into 2 different units. One of them is 8 ticks up, and then the other one is 12 ticks up. And these settings that I'm doing right now are random, so don't think there's any magic to the numbers I'm throwing in here. There's not. And the reverse button is really, Paul, a commission generator for me. I don't recommend it. But the reverse button just reverses everything. There we go. We got stepped out. The targets canceled. If, let's say, you're long a contract and you decide I want to be short, you hit the reverse button. It's going to sell 2 at the market, and then you'll be short 1. And really, usually when that happens, it's because you don't have a plan and you're panicking. And this is my opinion based on like a million years doing this job. Not a million, but longer than anybody else I know, almost. So, it's there. You could reverse everything. I highly, it's not a thing for me. So I don't even talk about it because I don't want you getting hurt. I would rather you do less trades and be more successful than more trades and be less successful. Because this, hopefully this is a long game for everybody, and we could get that going. Okay, so that's the target. Now let's do a 3 contract trade because 2 is not enough. Let's add another colon and add 14. So now I've tripled up on this. I'm tripling up on my trade idea, and I'm going to go ahead and place my limit order there for 3 contracts. And then what'll happen is, boom, 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 we'll have 3 different profit targets based on my entry. And once one gets filled, the stop automatically changes to a 2 lot because it recognizes, hey, I only have 2 contracts left. I had 3. I got rid of 1 successfully, thank goodness. And I have now the stop changed automatically. That's another feature of the server side OCOs that I think is an awesome feature. Sheila says not a million, just a few thousand. All right, we'll do the breakout bracket. Everybody relax. We're going to get there. It's 10:52. I am running late. All right, so let's focus here. Now, I want to show you something else that's equally as cool. We're just going to flatten, get rid of it, start over. Let's say I want to do a 3 contract trade, but I also wanted to split up my stop into 3 different targets. Again, the semicolon is your friend. Number, semicolon, number, semicolon. 3 and 3. Let's see what happens now. I'm going to hit the button here. I'm going to click on a limit order. Let's see if we can get the fill. Let's see if we can get the fill. There we go. And then what? Oh. Rookie mistake. I forgot to click the auto exit on button. Let me show you a trick here to avoid that. In settings, I believe there's a setting that says auto exit bracket stays on. You could highlight that and you won't have to worry about forgetting to do what I just did. So I'm not going to do that though. So let's highlight it. Auto exit on. Let's get our order in. Let's get a fill. And let's see what happens. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. Jessica gives me a smiley face. A few hundred years now. Now I'm only a few hundred years old. All right. And so it's broken up the targets and the stops into individual parcels. And the idea again is if you take one of these off the table, the other one will be an OCO. So it's automatic. As a matter of fact, my hands are behind my head right now, kind of like leaning back. And even though this trade's going against us, again, it's a random trade. So please, please, please don't follow this with a live account. These are just examples of how to do order entry. And so again, if we get stopped out at 31.25, our first target, then our first stop target, then our profit target will be reduced to 2 lots, 2 contracts. Let's try to speed things up. I'm just going to do a little bit of that. Your auto exit on in settings doesn't work. So you're going here, you're clicking on this one, auto exit bracket stays on. You got to click on that little plus sign and that should do it. There we go. We just got stopped out on 1. See, now we only have 2 on the target. Everything is cool. All right, let me go, since we are kind of being quick here, let me go to the next idea. I am going to flatten, start over. Now, let's say I'm doing a 3 contract trade, but I want to have it weighted so that my second profit target has 2 units on instead of 1. So I only want 2 targets here, right? But I want the second one to be a 2 lot. So I'm going to just go to size ratios and go 1:2. Let's see if I did that right. I'll hit the auto exit. I'm going to hit that. Oops. I'm going to click in the right area. What did I do wrong? Auto exit. I got 3 stop loss targets. Oh, it won't let me. You got to be even. You got to be even. Okay, so 12, 14, 12, 14. But I have a 3 lot contract on. So I'm going to throw it in. And what it's going to do, the second bucket is going to have 2 contracts. The first button has 1 contract. And you could do that in any permutation that you like. So to manually turn on the auto exit, you have to click on that where it says auto exit. It'll say off. Click on it, it'll go green, and then place your trade. And again, it's different with the legacy download PC DOM than it is with this one. Okay, and so this is a strategy you might want to consider. I mean, literally in this event, so now we just got a profit target. You can say, hey, I'm going to move this to break even plus a tick. So if I can get the runner, great. Otherwise, I kind of got a free trade going on. I pocketed some money on the first trade. The second one's going my way. I'm going to move my stop to break even plus a tick, so I get my commission back if I do get stopped out. And then I'm just going to, sit back and bask in my glory or suffer in my pain, whichever it is. Let's get stopped out here, and then I will show you. Let's just hit the flatten button. So again, for these settings here, auto exit bracket stays on. I don't like to do that, but if you do it, it'll stay green. If you turn it off, it will not stay green. Some people don't like to do auto exits. They want to do it manually, so that's off. Okay, so that's any other questions? Sheila's right about what? Hang on. Yeah, the desktop version, the breakout. All right, let's do a breakout bracket here since I promised we would do it. What is a breakout bracket? Well, let's say you're like, you know what, I don't want to go long right now until the market breaks up through some area of resistance that I've identified. Or I don't want to go short until the market breaks down through some area of support I've identified. So the way we're going to do it is we've already, in the settings, we've already enabled allow advanced OCO brackets, right? And so what I'm going to do is I am going to right click on what would be where I'd like to go long from, right? So on the blue side here, I want to buy on a stop, right click on a number. I just right click there, and then I got that 39 even. I'm going to scroll down to where I want to go short from, and I'm going to left click my mouse, and I've created a breakout bracket, right? I'm entering on a stop. If the market breaks up through my area of resistance, I want to get long. If the market breaks down through my area of support, I want to get short. The other side of the trade will automatically cancel, so it's a server-side OCO as well. You just right-click on your first target, left-click on your second target. That's kind of weird. So once you click it on, and go do the F5 trick. Highlight, make sure this window's highlighted. Hit that F5 key and see if that does it. All right, here we go. We just broke out up. The other one canceled. So now we have now we're long 3. Now we got to do some work. We got to add an auto exit somehow, some way. You could do that actually conveniently here with the bracket width. Just set a bracket width of 20 or whatever you want to do. Turn it on, and then you're going to go for your target, right? You put your target here, and it'll automatically send a bracket 20 wide on an existing position. Oh, we just got stopped out. So that's how that works. Let's do that again. I'm going to go long, and after the fact, I want to add a bracket around it. I'm going to select the width. Just do it 30 so we don't get stopped out again. Turn it on. Now this is going to add an OCO bracket around an existing position, similar to the way we did it on the chart. We're long 3, so now I'm going to pick my profit target, and then it'll automatically create a bracket 20 wide, and then you could tweak it. You could move it around and make it however you want. And that's an OCO bracket as well. Okay, I'm going to type in it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to type in my contact info, trade@infinityfutures.com. And I'm going to type in another link for you to consider. Consider, not this page, but this page. If you're new to this and you want to try out what I just did, this video will be archived on our YouTube channel. That's the practice account button, good for 30 days, real-time data, everything you see here that I just did, you could do it. For those of you who are ready to hit that open an account button, and I know you're out there, I know somebody here is out there, open an account, click here, Transact Futures, that's our FCM, that's our parent company. Start the application process, it's online. Relatively straightforward. James, my pleasure. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody, actually, for Dan, thanks. I do want to remind you, trading futures options on futures involves substantial risk of loss, not suitable for all traders and investors. A lot of leverage, a lot of volatility. Be careful. Easy with your leverage. Consider micros if you have a smaller account. We talk about micros on the Tuesday and Thursday events. Those events will be listed up here in the news section. Probably, oh, look at that. Isabella is on the move. 30 here. Tuesday, Thursday events. Feel free to come to these. If you want an additional notice, just click on the newsletter thing. And you'll get that on a Saturday morning. If you're not doing anything Saturday morning, you'll get the newsletter. Lastly, yeah, sure, Eduardo. What do you want to know? Eduardo says, could you tell us a little about NinjaTrader Deal? NinjaTrader Deal is awesome. Is that what you wanted to know? No, I'm kidding you. Listen, this is a tremendous thing for the industry. It's a tremendous thing for us at Infinity. It's a tremendous thing for you guys. Right now, the way things stand are you have two choices. You could stick with the Infinity Futures side of things, and nothing is going to change, at least in the very for a long period of time here, and you'll have access to this trading platform and charts and all that stuff. Some people might prefer Ninja. I've been pounding on it myself to become an expert at it, and we will do some walkthroughs on that in the coming weeks. I never realized it because they were our arch enemies in December, and now they're our best friends. But really, what I've learned working with them is their focus is on customer experience, and I'm just so pleased about that. And I'm able to actually do some more presentations with these guys as well. So the Ninja platform itself, the charting platform itself, is pretty powerful. I'm still learning it. There's a lot of stuff on it. The DOM is also awesome. So we're going to get into that. But right now, nothing's changed. Everything's good. Day trade margins are still there. Account minimums are still there. I'm still here. We're gonna, and that's going to be the thing. When it's time to do something different, I'll let you know. But right now, I'm really happy about where we are right now. And thank you, Sheila, for that. Yeah, they are good peeps. Eduardo, you're right. It's not as intuitive as Infinity for sure, but believe me, I'm going to have videos. I'm going to have YouTube lives, and we're gonna knock it out. We're gonna knock it out if you decide you want to use it, and we're gonna get comfortable with it. It's got a few components to it, but it's feature rich and super. I mean, when they say award-winning charting package. Platform or trading platform, they're right. It's good, but it does take some work, and we're going to do that work together, me and you. Greg says, yeah, Greg, nothing. So the way it is, so Transact's the FCM right now, right? They're at the top of the pyramid, and right now there's two brokerage firms underneath it. There's Ninja and there's Infinity, and I'm being very simplistic and it's just kind of weird the way I'm saying this, but so yeah, for sure, your LLC is with Transact right now. That's our parent. That's our FCM. It's going to stay there. You don't have to worry about anything right now. So that's where we're at. Thanks for the question, everybody. And lastly, what I want to say is this: have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And be good to each other. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Take care.